we are getting ready for our VSL match. It is underway. Game 1. Yeah, so we're just about there. I'm just tidying up. Some loose ends as we get started. And yeah, we should be underway shortly. Okay, so due to some things that happened with Lit and VSL, there's some sub work going on, but let me introduce the players, and then I'll get into that. Starting in the top right-hand corner of the map as the blue Zerg from Lost in Translation, but representing ConFed, it is Kenpachi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map as the red Terran, looking for a second all-kill, representing Psi X, it is Davril. Just fixing a couple small things that I change when I'm gaming versus casting. Okay. So far everything looks pretty normal on both sides. We have a hatch gas pool coming out of Kenpachi, and our Terran has opened with 2 racks and is probably going to throw down his CC shortly, wherever he decides to do that. He's going to keep this Reaper at home, I guess. I'm not sure what he's looking for. Maybe he's concerned about some Ling pressure at the front due to the drone. Perhaps it made him feel a little bit uneasy. So he's going to take his CC in the main, and this will delay his build slightly, but he'll be safe and should not die to any early aggression, certainly not 6 lings running across the map. Yeah. They're, actually, they could possibly delay the CC from landing, whenever that is. But with the Reaper here, he should be able to shoo them away. So, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to push this away once he gets this up. His factory is down, and I'm imagining he's going to get a starport right after this. The Overlord is going to poke in and see everything, but it will die, as there are Marines here to greet it. I like these perimeter supply depots. Definitely going to give him vision, so he can react to drops should they occur. And Stim is going to start up, and this star port is going to go down. I was about to call it a Stargate, being a Protoss player, so I had to catch myself there. And Lair is starting for Kenpachi, so, you know, just relatively normal, I feel like. Actually, is this Lair fast? I don't know. I don't play Zerg enough to really tell you that. Actually, where is the Zerg third? Oh, okay, he's gonna take the gold. Okay. This, I feel like... Okay, if Davril is going for a 2-1-1, he's going to get these 2 medevacs, and he's gonna drop. That being the case, I feel like this gold is actually really risky, because he can drop in the main, and then as soon as the army picks up, as soon as the army engages his 16 Stim Marines, and he feels like he can't get any more done in the main, he can pick up and drop in the gold. And the Lings are going to have to run all the way around, and what he even could do is, after dropping at the gold, drop in the main again, and then drop at the rocks, and then kill the gold for certain. So, like... okay, fortunately for Kenpachi, his Overseer does scout this medevac move out, so this he has the information to defend this, and he has plenty of Lings, but he has no Banelings yet, and he's not really reacting to the fact that there is a drop coming. So... if Davril does this right, this could get very scary very fast for our Zerg player. He is going to snipe this Overlord, supply blocking the Zerg momentarily. However, he had multiple Overlords in production. This gold is going to get sniped most likely. Yeah, with the Stim, that is gone. So he can now pick up these... he can pick up these Marine... Ah, okay, he wants to trade. Okay. Yeah, he's actually... That's a nice position. He got all the Lings there. And, wow, okay. That's a great start for our Terran player, who is now up 30 supply. He found a nice little spot that the Lings could not get the surface area they were looking for. And now he's moving into the main, but... okay. He's probably going to pick up this time, right? He certainly can't stay there, yeah. Okay, so he's going to back off, and behind this he has a lot of Marines, a siege tank. I would like him to... Okay, there we go, finally. Doing something about that Overseer that's giving so much free scouting information. Well... okay, this micro is cute. Run! The Overseer survives. Oh my. The one good thing for Kenpachi is that the Terran has not capitalized on this, and by which I mean the third is only now starting. So had the third started during that drop, I don't care when during that drop, but any time during that drop, I feel like Davril would be in a almost unlosable position. But now at this point, I think it's he still has a lead for sure, but he wasn't able to take full. Is this a hive morphing? Are we rushing to Ultralisk? Well then. Well then. This could actually be very scary for Davril because he's on predominantly Marines, and while the Banelings are enough frustration in and of themselves, I think having Ultralisk support is going to be a little bit much. The Zerg is going up to 4 bases, and the Terran's third is just completing, but it will have to still be floated over to whichever location Davril wishes to take. And the creep it's not amazing, but it is connecting the gold and the natural, so getting between at least his first 3 bases should not be too difficult for the Zerg. Well, relatively speaking. There are still these rocks that can be knocked down, as I mentioned previously. So these 2 medevacs are going to hit this 4th base expansion, while these 2 medevacs can engage the gold. And we're going to see some double prong aggression, most likely. This drop is underway, and it has caught the Zerg's attention. However, Kenpachi is doing a good job of splitting his forces, and is able to defend this gold with minimal loss. He's actually defended both locations, so he's in a phenomenal position as far as base count goes. Wow, okay. I'm gonna say this, while the supply is still in Davril's favor, the tech is going to start to favor the Zerg now, as Hive is done. So whether, I imagine he's going for Ultralisk. It's not down yet, but with the low gas count, he certainly can't be going for. Well, I don't know actually, because he hasn't taken his gas geysers at either of his expansions, so I don't think this hive is going to pay out soon. Okay, there's the Ultralisk den, and the third is finally floating over. Man, that is really late. But the third is finally floating over to this top expansion location, and this Ultralisk den will complete. So by the time, I think at this point Davril has to go. If he waits any longer, Ultralisk will be popping out, and he will not be able to get the necessary damage done to the Zerg. He's going to kill this Baneling with the Liberator, and that's a sad way to go. I mean, every Baneling just wants hugs, right? That's what I was told anyway. So he is scanning multiple locations. I'm not sure what exactly he's looking for, but as neither of those scans really went in a critical position. But he does knock these rocks down, and man, the longer he waits, the Chitinous is 75% done. So as soon as the Ultralisk pop out, I mean, the Zerg is now on 5 bases. Yes, Davril is closer to maxing, but the Ultralisks are going to trade so well without any Marauders in this composition. Oh, no, there are a couple Marauders, but I don't feel like there's enough. Well, he does have Liberators, and he does have Thors. There are 2 siege tanks. His 4th is done and about to land at the gold. So maybe Davril can still make something happen. I think if he gets good trades, gosh, he's just going to have really good kiting, and maybe he can use the map to its advantage with all these rocks. He could potentially wear away at some of the rocks, kite back into this, and then cut the rocks down on his opponent. So there's some opportunity since he is maxed. That is one thing he does have going for him, is that Davril is maxed and on 4 bases, so he should be able to replenish his forces to some extent. So he is going to move out now that he is maxed. He did miss his timing before Ultralisk, but we'll see what he can get done. He has a lot of he has a couple Vikings. I'm not so sure how useful they're going to be against the Ultralisk. I guess at least they can pick off any straggling overseers, overlords. I don't know. He has Marines too, so any overlords are going to be super dead if they try and fly over this army. He's going to start working at these rocks, and he can actually set up a pretty nice position with his siege tank, so that I mean, the good thing about this map is that there's a lot of, or it is hard for Zerg to get the full surround that they'd like, and oh my, here comes that Lingbane Hydra we talked about. Or I'm sorry, not Lingbane Hydra, Lingbane Ultralisk, much scarier. He is, no, he didn't get the knocks down. Fortunately, he picks off all the Banelings, so the Ultralisk will have to turn around. And okay, he has an opportunity now. These Ultralisks are effectively naked, and they will have to run away. Well, there's a lot of Ultralisks now. I think he's gonna wait for some Banelings, or is he just gonna try and get on top of this again? Well, Banelings are here, and oh no. Davril is going to be forced to pick up, and he will retreat. Probably boost. There we go. These Widow Mines are going to buy him a good amount of time, as well as these Liberators. But, I mean, how do you stop this? Because, like, I think if he has the time to get more Liberators out, there is no anti-air for the Zerg. So that has the potential to get something done. But the Liberator count is just not where I feel it needs to be. Because he can't, he needs to be able to zone out the entire alleyway. And he is not really at that point. So these Ultras are, gosh, now the Terran has no real mining capability with both the third and the fourth in the air. He is going to knock these rocks down, separating the Terran from the gold base expansion. And behind this, there are Hydras coming out, 13 Hydras, so these floating buildings are not safe forever. This is, I don't know, I would say Davril is in dire straits at this point. There aren't any Banelings presently, but there's Hydras on the way. They don't have, what is this? I can't tell if they have any Hydra-specific upgrades, and I can't find one to click on, because there's too many. The Ultras are too fat! They have Burrow. I don't know why they have Burrow, but, I can tell you that much. They have burrow. Anyway, +1 range, or +2 range is almost done for the Zerg. And, I mean, I guess upgrade advantage doesn't matter when you can't, when you don't have an army. So, Davril is doing what he can to hold on, but there's not much he can do, I mean, other than buying time infinitely, which fortunately, between the siege tanks and the Liberators, Kenpachi doesn't feel comfortable just poking up into the natural and, wow, okay. Actually, Davril is getting all the kiting across the entire map this way. And I think he's gonna get sandwiched. So that may all be for naught. Yeah, there's a sandwich. And that's probably GG. I mean, yes, there's a planetary here now, but we're on Ultraless Hydra, so yes, there are Liberators. That is something, and there are 2 siege tanks still, or 3 siege tanks. Davril is actually taking really good trades, but it's game. So Kenpachi will take the first game, and we will move on to our next platinum player, provided we have one. Okay, here. Now I just need to figure out what are we doing. Okay, I'm going to do some captaining stuff, and I will be back in like 2 minutes.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, I guess everyone should give Chibs a thank you, as he's our last-minute slot 2.
Fair enough. Stream's currently live. We're still on the pre-roll video, because that's what we were on when I hopped out.
I believe I switched the overlay, so they should be able to hear us.
Alright, well guys, I am Salamanet, here to help co-cast the VSL. I believe it is one up for ConFed. Actually, it was a lit player who
Yes,
I saw. I'd like to ask about that. What's going on there?
Due to the lit having to remove themselves from VSL, the lit players are eligible for mercenary work, I guess.
Ah, fair enough. So one of the lit players is playing for ConFed, but it is still the ConFed team that Psyx is facing this week?
Yes, that is correct.
Alrighty.
So, it looks like we're doing...
A quick streaming question, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave the window, like if you check Discord or the internet or something, does that follow on the stream, or is it just in-game that you see? That they see?
It depends how you set your overlay.
How have you set your overlay?
I set it so it doesn't see.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's see if we can get you into this game. Oops.
Alrighty. Being invited to the lobby and the party.
I almost forgot, and then we were loading Acid Plant. I was like, oh, wait. Kind of important.
Right, so we'll have a ZVZ on Acid Plant. Acid Plant can be a pretty difficult map because of the distance between the third and the natural. Whichever third you want to take. So, probably going to see some aggression on this map, I think.
I think...
You want to take first or second introduction?
You can go first.
Alrighty. I will take the upper left. In the upper left, representing Psionic Aftermath, looking to get revenge from our first loss, it is Psyx Academy Chibs.
And spawning in the bottom right as the blue Zerg from Lit, but representing ConFed, it is Kenpachi.
So, for Kenpachi, I haven't really been following along with the VSL as much as I'm sure you have. Has he been a VSL player for Lit before they dropped out of the league?
I did see him play at least 1 week, but I didn't pay too much attention to the results because it was mostly Potato and I think Jester had a week, and then the guy that we will not name.
Fair enough. Right, him, that's why. I see. So, pretty similar openings from both sides. Chib's getting his gas a little bit faster while both sides getting their pull at the same time, so I guess Chib's just a little more refined in that early game. Not really going to make a difference. That speed might be done an extra 5, maybe 10 seconds faster, but that probably isn't going to make a difference in this game because it doesn't look like either player wants to get aggressive straight away. Acid Plant is really, it's a map with actually a big rush distance, but the third's very vulnerable, so that makes it quite interesting. I think that we're going to see some aggression towards the third base, but we're not going to see any aggression before that, most likely.
I feel like where they take their thirds may also imply what sort of style they want to play, like whether they want to be the aggressor or defender. Like, if they expand away from their opponent, I don't see them wanting to be very aggressive.
Absolutely, that forward third definitely indicates aggression, whereas the far third, the more horizontal third, probably indicates being more passive. I'm not sure what the default third to take on this map is. I know as Protoss it's become the forward third, but we see a Baneling nest out of Kenpachi, and we see it pretty quickly. But we'd actually before speed, so this definitely indicates some sort of aggression is going to come Shiv's way.
Oh,
Question
wow.
is, will he see it coming in time? He's getting his own Baneling nest reasonably quickly, which is good. That's what he needs.
Well, he does have his Overlord just over the natural exit or entrance.
Yeah, and Kenpachi is making more drones, so it doesn't look like he wants to commit hard to this. He's only got like 8 lings or so. Even if Shiv's lost all of his lings to a Baneling hit, that would probably still be okay, because he's got 8 lings of his own. He does see the Banelings, he does see them morphing, so he should know what's up. But he saw them, but did he see them? Was his attention on the right place? I don't know if they were, because those Zerglings are going for an attack of their own,
Well,
and these Banelings could get a lot of damage done.
But I don't think the Spine Collar is necessarily enough.
Oh, but the Banelings do blow up on the Queen, which is good.
Yeah, there's
that
only
means
one
that
Bane left, so... I mean...
Shivs is probably fine. He will lose a few Zerglings for this, he will even save the Queen. And it turns out that speed did make a difference after all, because speed is not quite yet done, and all of these Zerglings are being morphed into Banelings. Shivs looks like he wants to go for this Queen. And I think he's going to get it. Good position by Kenpachi, but not quite good enough, as the 5 Banelings will morph while drones being nibbled away at. And good connection from Kenpachi, but overall I'd say good for Shivs, but Kenpachi making 16 more Zerglings moving across the map, while Shivs is making Zerglings and Banelings of his own. Both sides looking like they want to commit hard to this. I guess I was wrong about that 2-base aggression thing that I was saying. Neither side even trying to take a third just yet. Kenpachi is ahead by 3 workers, but Shivs does have the army supply lead, so he has to make use of this, and we'll see if he does. This Baneling is at the top of the ramp, so Shivs can't take... Ooh, gotta be very careful with that. Oh no! And he loses so many Zerglings to that one Bane. And that's pretty much gonna just destroy his attack. He's gonna try for it anyway.
He did get his own Banelings off on Kenpachi's, so I guess he felt like that evened it out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's good. There are no Banelings available for Kenpachi, but those are the connects you want as Kenpachi. Was the connections for Kenpachi have been just so good. Was for Shivs, they just haven't really sunk home just yet. But Shivs is going to go after the 3rd base, which is a good move. He's going to cancel this. There's no way that's going to get up. Decent trade, trading 3 Banelings for 2 Banelings and a handful of Zerglings.
And he is...
And we do have 1 Baneling left for Shivs. Needs to disable that, which he does, and he's going to then send Speedlings flooding in. There are no Banelings left for Kenpachi. They are all going to be cancelled, and this Queen going to go down, and this could be Shivs' chance. He could get some serious damage done in the natural of Kenpachi.
Yeah, this could be
a lot of these
damage.
drones are going to go down.
There's no Roach Warren, so...
No, he needs those Banelings. He's not going to get the chance to morph them in. More Speedlings on the way from both sides. Being 1 Baneling is up for Shivs, but is going to get knocked down. There are 2 Queens hunkering down in the main, but already the worker supply, or the worker lead has been evened up. And oh, those Banelings not getting killed in time. But Shivs has a massive supply lead all of a sudden. He's evened up the worker count. Roach Warren is on the way for Kenpachi, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough.
There is no Roach Warren down or started for Chips, so at least that is one, I don't know, if he manages to survive, shall we say.
Yeah, if he manages to get a handful of roaches out, 1 or 2 roaches are not very effective, but Kenpachi has a lot of money saved up because he hasn't been able to take that 3rd, so if he could get like half a dozen roaches out, that could really help him out, but he's in danger of losing this natural base, and if he does that, then I don't care how many roaches you have, it's pretty much game over from there. Kenpachi trying to take a hidden base. He is the picture of desperation right now. But I don't think Shivs cares. I think he's just going to go straight up into the main base. We do have roaches on the way, but no, we have Roach on the way. A single Roach being produced.
Oh, yes. The 1 Roach. Man. Yeah,
And Chibs needs to avoid these banelings. Does need to send a couple of lings to trigger that. Sends a little more than a
Oh,
couple
the
of links, but
one
it
roach
doesn't even
actually
matter.
does tank all the banelings from Chibs, but
Oh no.
I don't think that's enough.
It's a good position, but the roach will go down, the queen will go down. Kenpachi is doing the best he can, but at this point, there's just too much. And when as this last queen goes down, that is going to be the end of this defense. More and more lings being flooded across the map, and this is over. Kenpachi does not have the production to catch up. He does have a few more roaches across the map, but I don't think even that's going to be enough. All of these speedlings, all of this lava. Third base on the way for Chibs. Kenpachi fighting on with everything he has. But he's losing roach after roach after roach. He does have this hidden base now, remember. So it is 2 bases to 2, but Kenpachi knows it's not enough. GG from Kenpachi. And Chibs will take game number 2.
Tying up the series.
Taking out the mercenary of ConFed. Quite a game, very close. But in the end, Chibs just, if all in fails, all in again. And did that about 5 or 6 times and finally broke the back of Kenpachi.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if he ever put a roach horn down.
He did not. He did take a third at one point, but he never put down a roach horn. And why would you when your Ling Bane is doing so successfully?
That's true. Don't need to.
Yeah, Kenpachi needed to try something, that's why he threw down the roach horn. He was losing the Ling Bane war.
Yeah.
Despite a really good start to it, but I guess this didn't have the macro to finish things off. So we shall see who the next player for Confederation is. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Chibs. Let's take a look at his statistics. He appears to have not played that much on the ladder this season, so hard to tell. But his ZVZ is actually sitting at 28%, so he did well. He's obviously having trouble with the matchup, but managed to overcome that and take out Kenpachi.
Well, I guess it's one of those 28% wins for him.
Yeah, exactly. 28% is not as uncommon as you might think.
I mean, he doesn't have that many games played yet this season, so I'm not sure.
So, may not be completely accurate.
Right.
Until I get like 100 or so games played in a season, I try not to even look at my statistics. Because they're just not as accurate as they could be.
Sure.
Okay, so the next player will be ConFed's Waffles on Backwater.
He selected a map?
Apparently so.
Oh wow. That was fast.
Waffles is another Zerg player. And he has not quite 100 games, but a fair few, and he has a 38% win rate against Zerg, so I guess he's having some trouble in the matchup as well. Sitting at 12-19, I believe. His race is currently selected as Terran, even though he hasn't... Yep, there we go. It is switched to Zerg. So, Zerg fans, this is going to be a good day for you guys. We're going to see yet another ZVZ.
All those knife fights.
Exactly. But I do believe we have some non-Zergs that are later on in the lineup, so we will see how that goes.
Yes.
I know for the fact that Honey Badger is a Terran player. And I believe he'll probably be representing his own team, considering he's a Diamond 2. But he might not. We'll have to see how we go.
If he does, it's probably the next slot.
Could be, although the Travi, who's also in the party, is a Diamond 2 as well, so...
Okay.
But they should have a Diamond 1. We'll see. In the top left, taking out Kenpachi, looking for a second ZVZ win in a row. Overcoming his woes. Can he do it again? It is Syax Academy's Chibs.
And spawning in the bottom right as the red Zerg for ConFed, it is Waffles.
So, do you think Chibs is going to go for that aggressive style again? Or do you think he's going to mix it up?
I mean, the distance is closer on Backwater, no?
Yeah, it's a deceptively small map.
But then at the same time, the third is pretty easy to secure, so...
Oh yeah, definitely the easiest third in the pool. This acid plant probably the hardest, except maybe abiogenesis, but that's not because of the third. That's because of the rush distance.
Right, right.
Both sides are going hatch first.
Slightly faster gas for Waffles, but...
Yeah, but only a couple of seconds. So it looks like mirrored builds from both sides. They're not quite pros who can get everything down to the millisecond, get us that perfect mirror. But we do have hatch gas pull out of both players.
So, are you a pancake person or a waffles person?
Well, in Australia, we don't really have waffles, so I'd say I'm more of a pancake person. I don't think I've ever actually tried waffles.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, we like pancakes.
Okay.
But I don't have them very often. Remember one time when I was a kid, well, a teenager, me and my sister decided we wanted to make pancakes. And so we decided to check the pancake mix, and my sister pretty much said it best. Just typical. The moment you want to make pancakes, and the pancake mix is 2 years out of date.
Well then, that's
Snoopy says it's a bit of an echo on my voice on stream, so that might be something you should check, see if there's anything you can do about that. Because I don't think it normally happens.
Yeah, let's see if this helps any. Okay, hopefully that improved, but if that didn't, then I have to actually edit settings. I'm thinking it was just proximity, but
Let's hope. Baneling Nest on the way for Waffles. Neither side yet taking a third base. Spine Crawler on the way for Chibs. I don't think he's actually seen anything. He sees those 6 slings and he thinks, okay, that's suspicious enough that I can throw a Spine Crawler down. Which is a good move, because I think that Waffles is going to want to get aggressive, but Waffles actually getting his own Spine Crawler. Both these players playing it very safe, and Waffles taking a third base himself. Chibs with the worker lead though, which is normal. If you take a third base, you actually have a worker deficit for a while, before you catch up. As Chibs gets his own Baneling Nest, neither side cutting any corners at all, playing it very safe against each other. But Chibs needs that third, or he needs an attack if he wants to compete.
well, he's gonna move out with these 6 slings, so I don't think he's gonna find anything with that, but
No, not getting anything done. It looks like
if he wanted.
with that Evo Chamber,
Oh yeah. Oh.
Chibs wants to go for 2-base Roach, but 2-base Roach doesn't really make sense on this map. We do have a lot of Banelings out for Waffles. 2-base Roach doesn't make sense on this map because the reason you do it is because you can't protect your third base. But you can protect your third base on this map. But as I said, this Chibs makes his own. But Waffles has already finished his. And oh man, that's so many Lings and Banelings. Chibs is going to get caught completely off guard. He does have 16 Zerglings on the way. But oh, those Banelings detonate.
Different than here.
Exactly, those Banelings do detonate harmlessly on the Banelings morphing of Chibs, so that will keep him in this game. Now, crucial fact is that Waffles, his Overlord placement is a lot better than Chibs. He's aware of the third base, but Chibs is not aware of the third base for Waffles.
Yeah,
He can't be sure.
Much, he sees a lot more of his opponent's side of the map, essentially. These Banelings are coming back in. There's a pretty solid wall here, so I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't going to break through. All those Banelings could break through, but then there'd be no Lings to follow up with. So Waffles is just backing off, getting his own Roach Warren, and taking a worker lead. Oh, and these drones are misrallied to the main. He's oversaturating that by quite a significant margin. So he needs to start getting those 3 bases saturated up. Those Chibs. Meantime, let's take a look at Waffles. Waffles he's a bit undersaturated at his main, but all of his workers are in fact mining optimally. So overall, Waffles seems to be managing his economy just a little bit better right now.
They're even on workers, so...
They are. And Chibs has fixed the problem, so both sides have pretty much equal economies. And we do have a much faster +1/+1 coming out of Chibs, so that's the advantage he has. Bit of a worker lead, bit of a layer lead for Waffles compared to the upgrade lead from Chibs, and that makes the most interesting ZVZs I find. I casted a 5-hour tournament with Snoopy the other week, and we had basically almost all ZVZs for the entire thing. So we learned a lot about ZVZ, and basically trade-offs are interesting. When you're ahead in one area, you're usually behind in another, like taking that third puts you behind economically for a while, and then you start to catch up. But in the meantime, 8 worker lead for Waffles, +1/+1 lead for Chibs, and he's making his roaches faster. But he doesn't have a lair, so attacking across the map is going to be difficult for him without roach speed. So I have to wonder what his plan is, staying on hatch tech this long. What do you think?
I mean, gosh, that doesn't leave you with a lot of options, I feel.
Yeah, I'd like to see him just go for 1-1 roach timing and forget about roach speed.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of roaches being made for Waffles. He's taking the economic lead, so now he's taking the supply lead. So I think he's going to be okay, but that +1/+1, it is very impactful.
I mean, I guess he can hope he has even roaches, or if not better, and then refill on speedlings, since they can get across the map fast enough, I guess. But okay.
Here comes the engage. The Banelings are trying to take out these speedlings. Oh no, Chibs is just forced to back away. The roach speed is so much faster for Waffles, but it is not done yet. And Waffles has a 20 supply lead. Chibs mis-rallying his roaches a little bit. Waffles choosing to back away rather than fight. And I'd say Waffles definitely has the lead this game now. He's making 10 more drones while Chibs is making roaches after roaches.
Yeah, I feel like he just transitioned better out of that first stage of the game.
Yeah, we gotta teach our PsyX players, man. We gotta teach them to make workers. Because Waffles is just taking such a big economic lead right now, and even going into Hydralisks.
Oh, wow.
And taking a 4th base. Which, admittedly, might be Chibs' one opportunity to strike, because 2 Evo Chambers, Hydralisk then 4th base, all of it going up for Waffles at the same time. He's probably going to take this +1/+1 upgrade. This is a lot of money that is going to be spent. It isn't going to have an immediate return. So Chibs might have the opportunity to attack this 4th base right now.
I think Chibs has Overlord speed.
Yeah, he does. And there are 11 Hydralisks on the way, and 6 Ravagers. Once those come out, there's nothing Chibs can do. So he definitely needs to take out this 4th base, get his own, start teching up himself, and he cannot fight into this at all. He's got to back away, which he does. He needs to start +2/+2 as well. But more importantly, get those workers. He's staying on 34 workers the whole game. Chibs, what are you doing, man?
Is he researching tunneling claws?
No, neither side is researching tunneling claws. He's researching roach speed. He doesn't quite have it at the moment. Good flank by Chibs. He does get all of these vulnerable Hydras in the back line and puts them in the front line, so that might be his one opportunity, but there's just so much Roach Ravager here. This is pretty much the best fight that Nick could have hoped for, so can he push forward? He needs to push forward and avoid those bars, which he does. All these Ravagers are in the front now. This is pretty much the exact opposite of the composition, not the composition, the formation that Waffles wanted, and Chibs might have actually somehow done it.
Wow.
Just take 25 Roaches on the way for Waffles, 25 on the way for Chibs. Just all those Hydras and Ravagers exactly where they don't want to be, but so many Roaches coming in. And with this Spine Crawler, Chibs absolutely has to back off, wait for reinforcements. I don't think he's going to win this game from this, but this was the best fight he could have possibly hoped for.
Yeah, that was great positioning. I think he probably should have backed off just like, I don't know, 2 seconds earlier.
And remember, Chibs still has +1/+1.
Okay.
Waffles has not started those upgrades, so with Roach versus Roach only, this could be Chibs' chance. But this is his only chance. He's been down workers for such a long time. If he doesn't break here, I don't think he will. The Spine Crawler is so low, and here Chibs goes, he's waiting for more reinforcements, he's trying to dive in and out. But he needs to get some damage done. Will the engagement happen? And it does. Taking out, not going to take out this spine pearl. It looks like he's going in, but the concave for Waffles is really good. Supply is actually going really heavily in favor of Waffles, no, of Chibs, and drones are being pulled off the line. I think he might hold, but at what cost? As Chibs evens up the work account. Will it be enough? Hydralisks getting taken down. The Hydralisks do so much damage, but they are so vulnerable. They need those roaches to protect them. And it looks like with these Lings coming in, Waffles might just hold. But now the economic lead suddenly goes to Chibs, which means that that one thing he didn't have before, that economic lead, suddenly he's got, as well as the upgrade lead. He does not have the tech lead, even Lurker Den coming up for Waffles. But will it be able to bear fruit in time? More and more roaches streaming across the map. And these Lings are just not going to do anything against so many roaches, especially with +1/+1. Remember, +1 upgraded Lings, 2-shot, +0 Carapace Zerglings. So that +1 is so important. And it looks like Chibs has actually done it. He's broken through. I thought Waffles had this, and on paper he did. But then when he moved out, Nick just attacked him from behind and got the one fight that could have won him the game.
The counterattack from Waffles did go across the map with the Lings, since they can't engage the roaches, but they were met by a strong wall still that was there at the beginning.
Yep, and Chibs splitting off his roaches has double the supply all of a sudden. The army supply just isn't there for Waffles at this point. He's going to do a lot of damage with his counterattack, but it's just not going to be enough. There's just so many roaches for Chibs, and Waffles is losing everything he has. And he's got no army left. He's losing his workers, and that's going to be GG. And Chibs takes the 2-0.
I need to keep...
Wow, I really thought Waffles had that.
Yeah, he was in a phenomenal position with the worker lead and the tech advantage.
Yeah, but +1/+1 and attacking those Hydralisks from behind really made the difference.
Yeah.
Hopefully both players will watch the VOD of this later on, because I think there's a lot to learn on both sides for that game. But in the end, while it was a scrappy game overall, Chibs did come out on top.
Yeah. Well done, well done.
So we'll see the first diamond coming out of Confederation very shortly. Who will they send out? That is the question. Travi and Honey Badger are both in the party. They are both options, especially because I believe the third slot must be a diamond 2 or below.
Correct.
There's the ace slot. It is open to everyone. Well, to any diamond. Being the ace, I gotta say, it is so stressful. I did it once, and my heart was pounding. Honestly, one of the reasons I wanted to shoot up to Masters so quickly was so I didn't have to do it again. Oh man, it was so horrible.
That is the funniest incentive for trying to get a promotion.
Let's just get promoted. Then the problems will all be over for a couple of months. And then they turn out to do the MMR rebalancing, so now I'm the Masters in the CTL set, so I just gotta make sure I play early enough that I'm not the ace for CTL as well. So it'll be even worse.
Play on Wednesdays.
Exactly, and we have Punterkill as the diamond of Confederation's choice, and he will be a Terran player, so we'll be seeing a TVZ.
Yep.
Which ones refers to maps. I believe we played on Backwater. What maps have we played on?
Backwater, Eastwatch, Acid Plant. Is that it? I think that's it.
Yep, it's 2-1, so those are the 3 maps. So, have you seen Chibs play ZVT?
I have not. Well, okay. I have seen one game.
Alright, well, actually, better not to say what he did until the game starts.
Yes.
Stream sniping is not allowed, but watching the stream before your game starts is perfectly legal and perfectly acceptable. So it is up to us not to reveal anything before the game starts, at which point it would actually be cheating to continue to watch or to assist the players. Can't blame anyone if they use a tactic that is not cheating.
Yeah, so we'll just save that information for once the
And the map will be abiogenesis. There's a lot of uncertainty about how to pronounce that. Some people say abiogenesis, some people say abiogenesis. The actual scientific term it's based on is abiogenesis. I think abiogenesis has been what most people seem to gravitate towards. But me, I just make sure I'm going to always be wrong by changing what I call it.
Oh, perfect!
It's like in karate once, I wasn't sure which stance to use, so I sort of did a mix of both. My sensei said, so you basically ensured you're going to be wrong no matter what. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think it through, did I? If it's A or B, going halfway between ensures you will always be wrong. But here we go. In the top left once again, representing Psionic Aftermath, 2 games up, looking to get a kill against a diamond, looking for the upset. It is Chibs.
And spawning in the bottom right as the red Terran, representing ConFed, it is Puntakill.
I'm not introducing with a Psyx bias here, it's just that I always introduce the upper left since I'm going first, the person on the upper side of the map, and that has just been Chibs every game so far. That has just been how the cookie has crumbled. I would be happy to introduce Puntakill with as much enthusiasm if he spawns on the upper side of the map. So, this map, to state the obvious, very short rush distance. Puntakill chose it, which means he probably has something planned, but I'm wondering if Chibs wants to get aggressive on this map as well. I've seen a lot of all-ins on this map. As a Protoss, it is hell playing against Zerg on this map because of all the different aggressive options they have, which are strong enough on ordinary maps. So, Chibs could definitely take advantage of this map if he wanted to. But he also might be one of those players who does the same thing every game regardless of the map. We don't know. Well, I don't know. That's why I was asking if you'd seen him play ZVT before.
Right. The only game I've seen him play this matchup was from CTL at the end of last...
oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yes.
That bust was planned specifically for the CTL, although
Right.
it does mean that he does have it in his back pocket if he ever needs it again. Once you learn a build, once you train it that much, it's always going to be there. I've got a few cheeses that I learned specifically for the CTL that I can still pull out in a tournament game if I really need to. It's pretty much the only way I learn cheeses. Oh, I need them for the CTL, let's go. Let's learn one.
Well, this Reaper is
So,
going to move across the map
Go on.
and see what it can see. There's not too much out yet.
And there are six lings, well 4 lings out and 2 more on the way, so this Reaper shouldn't get too much done. We do have a command center for Puntakill, so it looks like he wants to at least expand. He's getting 2 gases reasonably fast. He's got 200 gas banked up already, so I guess he wants to go into some tech. We'll have to see exactly what tech he wants to go for once this barracks finishes. Reaper hitting at the hatchery, but is going to get chased away. 1 ling might go down, but it does, but not really a big deal either way. SSSCV does fall as well.
Nice micro coming out of Chibs.
Yeah, so we don't actually see... Puntakill's macro is definitely slipping as a result of paying attention to this. He's only just now getting his factory down, so that's pretty good for Chibs. He's sending a few lings across the map, but I don't like that before speed is done. This Reaper's just going to be able to poke at them as they come across the map, but there's actually not really much else. Now, there are 2 Marines that will be done just in time. Oh, but this Reaper actually does get surrounded and does go down. So these Speedlings will get some scouting done, but I don't think they're actually going to kill anything with these 2 Marines. They actually choose to back off instead. And in the meantime, we do see a third base coming out of Chibs. So I'd say slight lead for Chibs so far. Just because the Leaper Micro required so much of Punskill's attention that his macro slipped a little bit. And will this Marine go down? It does not. Good micro from Punkill. Keeps those Marines alive. 14 more Zerglings on the way from Chibs, so I think he wants to get aggressive. As he gets a lair very quickly, and that scan does see the Zerglings popping out. A bunker is on the way, but it will not be done in time. But 14 Speedlings and 6 Marines. Despite the fact 2 of them are bruised, I'm not sure how this fight goes. A lot of it is going to depend on the micro. This bunker might not finish in time. Will he get the surround? Chibs is trying for it. And oh wow, he will. And so many SCVs are about to go down. The bunker is finished, but there's nothing to do. Oh, this Widow Mine's going to get a lot of hits. What?
Oh,
what
he
happened?
just ran past it.
How did that happen?
Well, it wasn't burrowed. It was burrowing as the lings.
Oh, I thought it was burrowed. And actually, this Widow Mine goes down. This could be crippling damage already.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I thought that Widow Mine was burrowed and not burrowing. One Marine will be protected by the SCVs, will take it down, but Chibs has a massive lead now. He's got this supply lead. He doesn't need to spend his money, but whatever he's making more and more Speedlings. He's just going to stream them across the map. Oh, he's got more at the natural, and this bunker's going to go down. Punterkills, I think he's going to have to lift off this natural. He's going to lose everything on the low ground. I think with... no, he doesn't have any Widow Mines anymore. I think he's going to hold this high ground, but a Baneling Nest on the way for Chibs. He might just try and bust this, and I like that plan.
There is a
Punterkill's going to need to lift off this natural.
That is about to pop out, but I mean, one Hellion against all the Ling Bane, I don't see that happening.
No, he's probably going to make a bunch of Banelings. Look at how much minerals and gas he has. He could afford to make so many Banes. Enough to wipe out everything Punterkill has.
I kind of like...
He's even using the natural for scouting. I like that.
Since he can't do anything else with it, and there's no, queens here or something.
Fast Hydrogen on the way, and 14 drones. So that's interesting. He might not... No, he's going to make a handful of Banelings, but it looks like he's not going to spend all his gas on that. He's going to be saving up for those Fast Hydrolists to get those upgrades. Play a later game.
Yeah, so...
And... this wall is actually really strong, but it's not that supply depot with the other. Oh, and he might actually get through. Good positioning on that Hellion though, and no, I don't think this is going to do any damage. But the Hellion is going to go down, but in the meantime, so much damage is done, and Chib's forced to back away. 30 Lings on the way for him. I'd like to see some Hydralisks out of him as well. Punterkill finally does reclaim this natural, but in the meantime, Chibs has gotten such a big economic lead. And he's going for a drop with Marines, which hopefully Chibs saw with those Zerglings out the front. But he's sending more and more Lings across the map. And there's a Hellion and 2 Marines. That is not much of a defense against 30 Speedlings that are out for blood. And I guess tires, in the sense of the Hellion.
Chew on some tires.
Exactly, they're chew toys for these Zerglings, and all these SCVs are also going to be chew toys. If something's not nailed down, the Zerglings will chew on it, and if they can price it loose, like say a Marine's arm, they'll play with that too.
Vicious puppies.
Exactly, and they're in the main, they just want to play, but unfortunately they keep breaking their toys, and I think Punterkill isn't going to have any more toys to give these Zerglings. As I said, that's going to be GG. And Chibs is going to take the upset, killing one of the diamonds, and one game away from an all-kill of the Confederation.
There was a drop at the third. It is not entirely dealt with.
Even if it takes out this third, though, it just doesn't matter. There's Queens, there's Zerglings. GG comes out of Punterkill, and Chibs will take the game. Wow. That was just great pressure. Really taking advantage of a biogenesis to the fullest. I can understand Punterkill's frustration. This map... Every time I lose on this map, I just want to be like... I hate this map. I was going to say something ruder, but we are on stream. I would veto this map, but you never know what you might have to face. In a tournament, in a clan war like this, in the Chobo Team League.
I played on a bio today. That was a fun game.
How'd it go?
I was playing on my cheese account.
Ah.
I won against the Zerg. It was very satisfying.
What did you do? I don't really have any PVZ cheeses.
I cannon rushed.
I really gotta learn that.
Yeah, I cannon rushed against a 12 pool. It was very interesting.
And you won. Wow.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have one more player left for Confederation. They'll have to send in their best. Their ace. To
Yes.
take out Chibs, who has some terrifying momentum on his side. 2 CUZs, a ZVT. Will they send out a Protoss for their last game, I wonder? A lot of Chibs' success could have been the map. We don't quite know. The map on this last game, so maybe they'll send out another Terran.
We'll find out in a moment.
We shall. Looks like Confederation just trying to grab their next player.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Alrighty. In the meantime, guys, let's take a look at Honey Badger and Truvy, both of whom might be candidates for the last game. Honey Badger says needs a few minutes. So it looks like they are actually trying to get their last player online. It looks like it's not Honey Badger or Truvy. So I wonder who they will send out. Let's take a look at Psionic Aftermath roster and see... not Psionic Aftermath, Confederation's roster. And take a look what Diamond 1s they might have to send out. We gotta keep ourselves amused somehow. ConFed Esports. Diamond 1s. There is Broketail, the Zerg, but he doesn't have enough games to be eligible. There is Kira, the Protoss, Diamond 1. He's quite strong. He could definitely be an option. There is Caliber, the Terran. And there's Overkill, the Zerg. So I guess they do have some active players at Diamond 1 from every race. MMR-wise, Kira is highest with 4448 MMR, and he's a Protoss, which is the one match that Chibs has not yet won today. But really, there's quite a lot of players they could send out, depending on who exactly is available at any given time. ConFed, a pretty big clan, quite up there in terms of size. And it is Kira, the Protoss, who we will see. Kira apparently doesn't care what map gets played. The Honey Badger picks Neon Violet Square. Apparently believing that Chibs' success is largely based on his aggressive tactics, which do seem to be the case, considering that in ZVZ he seemed to have trouble getting off 34 workers, so it looks like early attacks are Chibs' forte at the moment, and probably his best chance at taking out a Diamond 1 like Kira. I've only faced Kira once. It was a PvP for the CTL exhibition match, which never actually got casted. But I did win.
Ah, okay.
Kira went for a cannon rush, which I was prepared for.
On this particular map?
No, this was Interloper, because this was back at the end of last season.
I see.
Before Neon Violet Square even got brought in. I actually did a ninja expand instead of my more modern cannon defense, because back then I didn't have the micro to fend it off. Point is, Kira not afraid to pull out aggression when it suits him. So this could be interesting. In the top left, representing the Confederation, looking to prevent the all-kill, looking to bring it back, needs 3 games in a row in order to do it. Can it start today? It is the red Protoss. It is Kira.
And spawning in the bottom right as the purple Zerg on a hot streak. It is Chibs.
So we are gonna have to wait and see what Kira decides to do. We do have the wall off, so It is going to be a gateway, so that's the first hurdle overcome. But he will send out a very early scout to try and deny this hatchery. Which is interesting. I might have to start doing that because you can't do that off a pylon scout. Oh, will it get there? Yes, it does. And what will Chibs do? It looks like he wants to take this back base instead. Or he will just take the third base location. And that's what he's going to do. Bit indecisive though. So Kira's hatch block did its job. And we'll see Chibs take that natural later. We are going to see a Nexus momentarily coming out of Kira. So what do you think Chibs might do this game?
Possibly have to defend a cannon rush still, because there... Okay, he is putting the Nexus down, but I saw the pylon go down at first, and I guess it was just a scare tactic.
Yeah, need a forge for cannon rush.
Right, but he had the minerals that were... Because his Nexus was not down yet when I
fair enough.
saw it. But, yeah, Chibs, I mean, gosh, with the map so big, if he wants to be aggressive, I think a Nidus is probably his better option.
Could be. Those speedlings are so fast they don't really care too much about the size of the map, but definitely some sort of roach aggression is totally out. She was floating a lot of money, so he needs to really... he's going to take that third just now. So he's going to have that stable 3 basic setup that Zergs so love. But we'll have to see what Kira wants to go now. Probably a Stargate, except he's already gotten Warpgate first, which is a bit unusual. If you don't go for a Stargate, you are quite vulnerable to Link Floods. And we do have 6 Lings on the way for Chibs, so that might be exactly what he's trying to do. And we do see the Stargate up in that main base a little late, but not a big problem. And this Adept probably going to go out for scouting and see what they can get done. Actually, going to go out to try and save this probe, and it will. And will it go out scouting to see if Chibs is all-inning? Which he is. He is at 19 workers, he's building more and more Lings, he's going for a Ling Flood, and I like this, because the Stargate is late, the wall... Oh, no, it does just finish, but the pylon is still part of the wall for Kira. There's a second Adept out, and these Adepts are actually going to move out, and that could be really bad if the Speedlings catch them, but they don't have speed just yet. The Adepts are out on the map, so will they see these slow Lings coming across the map? I think they must have by now, but there's really nothing to defend at home. The Slowling's already starting the attack. Here comes the Speedlings. 2 more gates going down to try and reinforce this wall. But once this pylon goes down, none of the gates or the Cybercore will be powered. But there is a second pylon about to finish, so they will not remain unpowered for long. 2 Adepts come home. Need to get those Lings on them. Oh, and they do. All of these Adepts will go down. They are trapped, abandoned to their fate as more and more Lings start streaming in, but the Oracle will fend this off for now. There is only 1 powered gate. There are 18 more Lings on the way, and this Oracle's going to run out of energy eventually, and needs a second one. He is making one. There are no drops coming with this. It is just a Ling Flood.
I feel like this is probably held, but there's actually a lot of surface area on this.
Yeah, there's only 1 gate that's... Oh no, 2 more gates become powered. More and more Lings streaming across the map. These Zerglings should be backing away, but this energy is going to run out pretty soon on the Oracle. There isn't another Oracle in production. There is now. As Chibs is going to move in, and there is really nothing to stop these Oracles except for... No, there's nothing at all. Only a single sentry. But he needs to get the rest of these... What's he doing with the rest of these Lings?
I have no idea.
He can't back away. He can't retreat now. What are they doing? Oh, man. Chibs is sending some of these Lings home, and I'm not sure exactly why.
Perhaps
and that might be the error that Kira's made. That will win him the game. He is making a Baneling Nest to try and follow up, but Chibs needs to get all of these Zerglings across and start doing some damage, because Kira has double the work count. And I think Kira has held. Partly due to Chibs' unforced error, but he has held. And now has 3 Oracles. He's got the tech advantage. He's got 3 gates. I don't see this Baneling bust actually working out now. Not with half the Lings for Chibs not participating in the fight.
Now there are 3 Oracles out. The Baneling Nest was indeed cancelled, so...
Yep, there's no spores. These queens will do nothing. An Oracle just barely beats a queen one-on-one. So 3 versus 2. There's just no chance. There is a spore at the natural, but these lings for Chibs aren't doing anything. That's the real thing that has cost him this game. Kira might have held if those lings had been there, but
We'll
Chibs basically
know.
signed his own death warrant
Yeah.
by sending those lings back home. And now we're essentially just waiting to see what Kira follows up with for the kill, unfortunately. I'm not sure how Chibs can possibly come back. Maybe some sort of surprise tech switch like Mutalisk or something, but he keeps sending drones to that third base, which is completely undefended as well.
Yeah, this is just a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what could have caused that mistake. Like I said, it must have been some sort of miss hotkey or something.
Right, right. Not entirely sure what hotkey that was. Maybe he was trying to select something else, but maybe he wanted to select his Overlord, because that's in that approximate position that the lings were. So
Could be.
I don't know. It's a guess. A very blind guess.
Templar Archives charge. All the tech that Protoss needs is coming up. Oracles continuing to get kills. The third base finally has a spore up at it, but these 3 Oracles continuing to roam across the map, and a Phoenix, seeing what they can get done. They will snipe this queen. And they're going to look for yet another queen as well, which they will get. These Oracles just wreaking havoc. One of them does go down. I think Kira should have a good idea of just how far ahead he is at this point with all this scouting.
Yeah.
And that might trigger him to attack. He's making 4 more gateways, so once those are done, I'd like to see him make a warp prism next and push out. Although he's getting stormed, so maybe he might want to wait for that. He does have a lot of gas banked up, so he can warp in a bunch of Templar. Get those storms, get everything he needs. And it looks like he wants to take a 4th base, because he's taking out this pylon, which means that he can send a probe out and take that 4th at the Zerg's 3rd base location. And these Zerglings will get obliterated. Chibs is in a really bad spot. He's making Hydras, he's making 2 Evo Chambers, but unfortunately, that's not going to help him. He needs something with the element of surprise if he wants to have any chance in this game. Either Lurkers and have Kira mess up with his Observers, or Mutalisks and have Kira not scout it. Hydralisks just aren't going to get the job done. He is also a little bit rattled because I think he's getting a second Baneling Nest. Unless he lost that Baneling Nest at some point, because I believe he made one earlier.
I think he cancelled it.
Ah, there you go.
He realized he couldn't bust, so he wanted the extra drone, and then he lost like 5 or 6 instantly to the Oracles.
Kira taking the 4th base at about the same time as Chibs. Never a good sign for the Zerg. Lurker Den is on the way, along with Hydra Range and a bunch of Hydralisks. +1/+1 on the way for Kira. It looks like Kira isn't going to push out. He's going to wait until he's maxed. But once he is, I still don't see how Chibs is going to hold. It's going up to 60 drones. He's catching up in the drone count, but not fast enough. Kira still has the 60 supply lead. And he's even getting a fleet beacon to transition to the later stages of the game if necessary. But I don't think it will be. He has so many Templar, I'd like to see him turn some of them into Archons. But he will have Storms galore.
I mean, he's so far ahead, does it matter what his composition is?
It absolutely doesn't matter whether he has Archons or not at this point. He could probably just roll over this with nothing but charge lots with this this amount of supply. If he had 108 army supply worth of charge lots, it still wouldn't be enough. I mean, it would still be too much. So no, his composition does not exactly matter. Even if he fights without these Templar, he would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Hydra Lane.
Stasis Ward going down. Isn't going to get the targets it wanted. He can just move up. He moves up with the High Templar. The storms go down. They are devastating. Everything is just going to die. Oh, man. And here comes Kira charging in, and there's just nothing Chibs can do. Big army beats small army. That is the nature of StarCraft. And Chibs' run will come to an end, but what a run it was. 3 kills, almost getting the all kill. Could have done it if he had a couple more things go his way. Excellent moves from Chibs. No one can complain about his performance today, except maybe the Confederation.
The natural will fall and seal the end of this game.
But Kira still has quite a road ahead of him. He still needs 2 more kills if he wants to take this game. He's clearly quite a strong macro Protoss. Can he bring it home for Confederation or not? We will find out, as our first Diamond player is going to be sent in shortly.
Oh my. Okay.
So let's see who the next player for Psionic Aftermath... Oh, actually, you're the leader for this clan war, so you know who the next Psionic Aftermath player is.
Yes, I'm looking for him. He messaged me... Oh, there he is.
So, care to enlighten us?
It should be Ogoku, and yes, he is on.
Alrighty. Goku looks to be a Diamond 2 and a bit of a polymath. He's got pretty similar MMRs as both Zerg and Protoss, so we'll have to see what he wants to throw out today.
Yeah, I know he was, at one point he was laddering as random, but I think this season he decided to go with a single race, at least for now. As he's kind of coming back to StarCraft, he was off for, I don't know, a month or so.
What race was that?
I'm not sure which race he was, which race he said he was, going to stick with, because, he seemed to be debating between, 2 of them, so, guess we'll find out in a moment.
Indeed we will. It is Goku's map. Which maps haven't we played on yet? I believe Catalyst is one of them.
Yes.
And the other one would be... Have we played on Blackpink yet?
We have not played on Catalyst, Blackpink. That's it, I think.
Yeah, because we've played 5 games.
Right.
So our 6th game will be on Catalyst, with our final one being on Blackpink. Interesting that the older maps are actually some of the last ones to get picked, in general, so far. Actually, all of them are, because Neon Violet Square was the other new, older map in the pool. And it was picked 5th.
Yeah, that's...
So all 4 of the newer maps were picked in the first 4, so I guess they are popular. Which is good. I think we've got a good map pool this season.
Yeah, it's definitely a good sign. It communicates people are feeling comfortable pretty early on in the season already.
Yeah, Abiogenesis and Acid Plant are difficult for me, but they're not unplayable like, say, Boardwalk or Defender's Landing were.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Goku will be choosing Zerg, and we'll be seeing another ZVP. But I don't know what Goku's going to do, because I suppose Kira could have been broken had Chib's done a couple of things differently, so maybe Goku will want to try for another attack.
Yeah, I think with Evo Chamber or a Baneling Nest, either of those gave him another dimension to his attack.
The thing with Kira, if Goku is watching and paying close attention, is that he did not send out an Adept Scout very fast.
Hmm.
So that makes it less likely that he would scout an all-in coming, which is interesting. It could provide a moment of opportunity. In the top left, looking to take advantage of this opportunity, it is the first diamond from Psionic Aftermath Academy. It is the Green Zerg. It is OG Goku.
And spawning in the bottom right as the red Protoss for ConFed, hoping to come back from a 3-1. It is Kira.
And Kira is sending out a very fast probe. And he doesn't even have a pylon at his natural, so I think this is going to be a proxy gateway. Proxy gates for Zealots, because there's no other proxy that hits so fast that you don't even build a single pylon at your main base. So we are going to see probably 2 or 3 gates about to be thrown down. Kira doesn't want to mess around. And here we go. Goku has no idea just yet.
It is going to be a hatch gas pool, so very standard for the Zerg, and that's not exactly what you want when you're facing a cheese, I suppose.
No, 4 gateways. This is going to be just so many Zealots. His stopping probe is at 14. I think he's going to go up to 16 probes to get that saturation, which is good. That's what you want. But Goku needs to find out about this somehow. He will be, once he sends that Overlord across the map, he will suspect something. His alarm bells will start ringing. He is scouting for cannon rushes, but that's not where this rush is coming from. He needs to get some Zerglings. He will need to get Spines, and he may need to even give up this main base. Well, this natural base. We'll have to see how this goes. I don't think I've seen this in a long time. That's just so many Zealots.
Yeah.
4 Lings and a Queen on the way. And the first 2 Zealots are going to just charge right in. So that will... No, they are going to get pulled actually for just a little bit. There's going to be 4 Zealots on the way. We do have a second Queen and we do have more Lings on the way. So 8 Lings total going to be made for Goku. So that could be... That's a decent start. But oh, he sees him and he's got to back away. And he knows exactly what this is now. Needs to throw up Spines. Needs to defend. He's throwing up a Spine in the mineral line. Goes after that probe, does get it. Gonna go after the Zealots. Needs to go after them one by one though. Already losing so many drones. Oh man. That's not the fight you want to take. All of those Zealots are so low, but they're not going down. And I already think actually that Kira's just won this game. Goku just not sure how to react. And I can't blame him because how often do you see this?
Yeah. It's
And that's it. It's all over. Kira goes to the ace match.
I think I have to start trying this one on my cheese account. Oh man, that was brutal.
It was just so fast, so many gateways. I didn't know you could support 4 gates. I don't think you can support 4 gates of constant production like that, but I guess maybe you can with just nothing but Zealots.
Yeah.
But even then, it didn't matter because
it's just minerals.
you don't need constant production. If your first 4 Zealots, just obliterate them.
This is true. This is very true.
I think I should write that one down myself. And we will have to see who our ace player is. Mr. Javier likes to keep his cards close to his chest. And here we go. It is Kaino. Oh, Kaino. Now, Kaino is a good player. He recently came second place in the MVD tournament that Psyx runs, our internal Diamond and Under Championship, losing it to November in the end. And so it will be interesting to see what he does against Kira. It will be a PvP. And we will be playing on Blackpink because that is the last map. Now, Blackpink is a map where the natural is quite easy to defend, but the third is very difficult to defend. On account of that, you have to go down a ramp and then up a ramp in order to get there. That makes 2 base pushes against the third base very effective, and that might be what we see here. But given Kira's recent attack against Goku, we might see another cheese coming out of him.
I think an effective cheese on this map is a gas steal with a proxy Stargate. Especially since the 2 gases are on the same side.
How do you manage to pull that? How do you manage to pull off a gas steal?
Probably your first probe has to go out.
Can't they just put their probe in, can't they just put their probe on the assimilator to stop you stealing it if they see it?
Right. So it's perfectly blockable. It's just with the fact that the 2 gas geysers are right next to each other, it's slightly more vulnerable to both the gas steal and the Stargate play. Assuming we were to see a cheese. I don't think cannon rushes are the most viable here.
Cannon rushes are probably worse on this map than any other because of the huge distance from the main ramp to the nexus. You want to use those walls to support your cannons and then use your cannons to support more cannons. But there's just so far to go with a cannon rush on this map. Kira has been known to cannon rush before. He might do it here, but if he does it here, that probably means he just does it every game against Protoss. Because this is the worst map to do it on. But it could still work.
Yeah, I think a 2 base all-in is probably more likely from one of the players.
Yeah, we'll have to see how we go. In the bottom left, representing Psionic Aftermath, it is our ace looking to take the series. It is Kaino.
And can he bring it back? It is the red Protoss representing ConFed. It is Kira.
So, it looks like we're not going to see a cannon rush coming out of Kira, because Kira has not sent out this probe. On the other hand, Kaino sent out a probe, which might indicate a cannon rush of his own, but it might also indicate that he suspects cheese. It could be either one of these things. Or it could even go for that gas steal you mentioned. It does put the gateway there. Now, I like this gateway positioning, because he can wall off with his gate and core later on, and if Kira had been going for a cannon rush, there's no way that gateway can allow a walled cannon. And he does. Oh, he actually tries for a double gas steal, but isn't going to get it. Does get the single gas steal, so I guess you may have been right here. Do you think this is going to be a Stargate follow-up?
That is the best follow-up, in my opinion, from the gas steal on this map. Where you proxy it doesn't really matter, as long as it's somewhere out there, but yeah.
I'll take your word, because I've never done a gas steal.
I used to do that exclusively, so. And
Probe
then I
takes
realized this was
damage.
the only map that it made sense on.
Doing harass wherever we can. 4 probes have to be pulled off the line to attack this assimilator, so that's just so much lost mining time for Kira that I would say this has already paid for itself in terms of the 75 minerals that he spent.
And it also buys him some vision in the main, while it won't last long with the 4 probes on it.
So, Kaino has actually built his cybercore in a weird place. He's made a mistake. He has not walled off his natural, so this could trigger Kira to make adepts. I normally make stalkers, but I will make adepts if my opponent has not walled off. Especially since Kira is a little starved on gas right now, that's what we might see.
Yeah, I think that's a very... Well, actually, he made a zealot. This is an interesting response.
I don't see a zealot being made anywhere.
It's moved out, actually, already. I think he's paranoid of
there it is, yeah. Could be, and Kira is actually making a fast robo instead of making any units. So he's not making adepts or stalkers, whereas a Twilight Council is on the way for Kaino. And 2 more gates, so it looks like, I guess he wants to get aggressive with Blink Stalkers, perhaps?
Okay, that's
because he's not making a proxy anywhere.
Yeah.
Neither side moving to take their expansion at a typical time, both sides choosing to tech up on 1 base. So this is going to be interesting. Typically, Robo does have an advantage against Twilight. Because Blink Stalkers don't do too well against Immortals. And we do see Blink up for Kaino.
Oh, you know what? I think he wanted to bait Kira into building adepts, because he did complete his wall with the gateway. And
Yeah, that's quite possible. But Kira either didn't fall for it or was never planning on making adepts in the first place. 2 Stalkers now out for Kira, but Kaino sees that there is no expansion. Yeah, and Kira is Kaino is expanding. Good pylon block to prevent that Zealot getting any scouting information. It will die. And Kaino's expanding while Kira's not. So that means we are seeing an Immortal being made out of Kira, but he is supply blocked, which is going to be very bad for him. We'll have to see if he actually just wants to expand. I think he does. And Kira will expand, and Kaino is watching that with the Stalker, so he's ahead now. He's got the equal worker count, and he's got a faster expand, but he is a bit behind in tech because he hasn't built his Robo yet. He's only just building it now. Twilight Council is good, but Blink isn't going to do too much against this many Immortals, unless he brings an Observer across there and he tries to blink into the main base and get some damage done there. That could work. Kira just turning his gates into warp gates now. A couple of sentries being made from Kaino. So he should be pretty safe. Doesn't see this probe though. I think that's there for any nefarious intent, just for a follow-up scout later on. And we have Stargate. A Stargate on the way from Kira, which is a very, very strange choice, because normally if you make a Stargate, you make it quickly. And Kaino already has Blink. And he's making a Warp Prism, so this could be interesting. He's making 2 shield batteries, so I'm wondering if he actually wants to play a totally Skytoss style. But I don't think so, with the Twilight Council going down as well as the Immortals still being made. What do you think this is? Xeno?
I'm not sure why he's getting this Stargate, because he did see the Twilight Council with his Zealot. So, I mean, perhaps he's hoping to surprise with 2 Oracles, like, when the army moves out or something, but...
Well, I'd certainly be surprised. Because this is not something you really do.
Yeah.
Warp Prism is on the way. He's probably going to move out with some Blink Stalkers and Sentries, see what he can get done, but with 2 Immortals already, he's not going to get anything done.
I mean, Kaino has both watchtowers, so...
And Kira actually building a proxy pylon, so it looks like he might want to get aggressive. And it looks like Kaino did spot it, so he knows. He spotted it with the Warp Prism, which means he will go shut this down.
I think whatever plans Kira had may have to be abandoned with that proxy snipe.
Most likely. So we'll have to see. The next interesting thing will be the 3rd base. It is 40 workers from Kaino to 34 from Kira. So Kaino has the advantage. Yeah, very nice, but it actually won't be done in time, but there are a couple of Stalkers here. More gateways finishing for Kaino, so he's definitely powering up on 2 bases right now. A couple of workers will go down, but nothing too crippling. 4 in total, actually make it 5. Well, 6 even, but he doesn't get the Oracle out alive at least. Good move from Kira. Good trade. Does have a shield battery in the natural though, so probably won't get much damage done a second time. And we do have this Warp Prism just warping in some adepts, so it's just going to get some harass done in the main.
Yeah, I think
but neither side wants to take a 3rd on this map before the other one does.
As best as he could have hoped for. All things considered.
Yeah, he's evened up the worker count.
Oh wow. Okay.
And even slightly ahead in supply. And he should have a higher Immortal count because he had that Robo out faster, so it's 1 Immortal to... still 2. And a Void Ray. A 3rd on the way. And we'll see how much damage these Adepts can get done. They are probably going to just shade across to the natural after this, or they might just get picked up in the Warp Prism. 5 probes already going down, and just takes them out. 5 probes instead of 6, but he keeps everything alive. Whereas the Oracle was actually lost for Kira, so good moves. And he's now finally taking his 3rd base, deciding he is safe to do so. What will Kira's response be?
I kind of like these
and we have
hallucinated Archons.
Oh yeah. We have a 2nd Roro and a Disruptor. Oh no, and a Robotics Bay for Kaino, so I think he's going to go into Disruptors. Oh, taking out this pylon, that's both the shield batteries, but I don't think he can't actually attack this. There's so many immortals, but he will take out a probe or two on the retreat path, and actually is moving into the main at the same time, but the Warp Prism did go down to the Voidray and Stalkers, so a lot of probes are going to go down, but these Adepts are going to be forfeit as well. But oh, that's so many probes just being killed, and they are even shading to the natural, but that's where the army still is. 11 probes down is 49 works to 33. Kira is pretty much forced into a 2-base attack.
Yeah,
And we do have Warp Prism speed on the way out of this Robo base, so it looks like it's not going to be disruptors at all.
I really like Kaino's position and how he really just harassed in order to secure his third without committing any real like the only thing that he was in danger of losing was the 4 Adepts and the Warp Prism. So
yeah, it was good. He didn't use his expensive army units or anything to do that. Templar Archives on the way for Kira. I think Kaino may have originally wanted to go for disruptors, but seeing that Kira isn't taking a third and now really doesn't have the option to take one without being very behind, he decided he would rather stick with a more stable immortal-based army and instead got Warp Prism speed with his Robo Bear.
it may also be the Zealot count as opposed to a Stalker composition.
Quite possibly, yeah. You can kill charge lots as they're charging in with disruptors, but it requires good timing. I don't try for it myself. So Kira, he's basically forced into a position where he does have to attack, and very shortly. He is getting a bunch of Templar to morph into Archons, and I think that's when he's going to have to just go. Because he has no third base, Kaino is taking advantage of his own third, and he's producing his own Templar Archives. So it will be similar armies, and once +1/+1 finishes, that will be a big advantage for Kaino. Kira is moving out. This is basically his one chance to win the game at this point. While Kaino is going to go for some harass with some charge lots. And Kira has moved out, so there's nothing here to defend. But at the same time, Kaino's invested a lot into workers, a lot into his economy, so this could be a tough hold. He doesn't have any shield batteries at this natural. He has one shield battery at the third, but it's in the main base. I mean, it's in the mineral line. In the meantime, a lot of Zealots doing their thing. The shield batteries are getting drained of energy, and the probes aren't doing enough damage to actually kill these charge lots, so Kira is all in. I'd like to see Kaino actually just sacrifice this third base, actually, because he doesn't need it. But he's retreating. The charge lots are engaging each other. The charge lot lines will both be extinguished at pretty much the same moment. A lot of immortals for Kaino. Kira is plummeting in supply. Kaino is choosing to back away. He's choosing to sacrifice this third base. The Void Rays are on their supercharged mode. They need to be waited out. There is a shield battery at the natural front for Kaino. And as Kira tries to push up this ramp, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. The Void Rays are still raining down death from the sky, but all of the ground forces look like they're going to go down. There's only 2 immortals left, though. This is going to be really close. He needs to pull probes, and he does. I don't know who's going to win this. The first Void Ray goes down. And there's actually a Colossus from Kaino. I thought that was a hallucination at first, but it's not. Blinking forward, killing one of the immortals. Losing a lot of probes, but it doesn't matter. It is 20 workers for Kira. And I think he's continuing to push. He's continuing to go on the warpath. Another immortal is going to go down, and if this third immortal goes down, I think Kaino has done it. Kaino is going to hold, and Kaino will take the series, I believe. The Psionic Aftermath. This last immortal goes down, and with it, so do the hopes and dreams of Kira of getting the reverse sweep. The army is just too strong for Kaino now. The economy is ravaged for Kira. He's not even producing anything. While +2/+2 is even on the way for Kaino. Kind of a ballsy move. I wouldn't even go for it if I were Kaino. I would just try and get every single unit I possibly could. Because that is the only way you can lose this game. And it is a lot of charge lots against a lot of Stalkers. Well, there are some Archons, but just again, he should retreat to this natural base. He has no reason to fight here, and it is the one way he might be able to lose this game. He can't see what we see. He doesn't know just how devastated Kira is, or maybe he does, because he is choosing to back away. Another round of charge lots. He's building 6 gateways. Another round of charge lots also, or just getting 2-2 to finish. And I don't see how Kira's going to win this game, but Kira is charging in. He doesn't want to wait for this round of charge lots. And Kaino needs to back away. He's going to need to blink back and let the Archons kill the charge lots. The Colossus taking so much damage, but it does survive. And the charge lots do get taken out. The Colossi and the Archons are taking them down. The Archons will fall. More Child Dots coming in from the side, and that's going to be it. Kira is plummeting in supply. Kaino has done it. Kaino has taken out this army, and that is it. GG, well played, and Kaino will take the series and the VSL game of the week against Kira. What a close match.
Yeah. Going all the way to Game 7, and lots of, I don't know, a very interesting development, how that last game, just the steps to it.
Very back and forth. Both players definitely playing very defensively, both showing a lot of respect to the other, both thinking on a map like Blackpink there's going to be some attacks, and in the end there was. Kira going for an attack with that 2-base all-in. Kind of forced into it by Kaino's harass. And I tell you, I wouldn't want to run into Kaino in a Dark Ladder game. He's tough. And that will be our show for today.
Yeah, so that concludes this week's VSL. I should know.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, everyone who followed. We do have plenty more events on the way. Tomorrow at 2 PM we have November versus Terran Lord. Two of our best diamonds, well, as of about a week ago, one of our best diamonds against one of our new M3s, a PVT best of 7. Both of them very interesting players, especially November. Loves her cheeses, loves her aggressive tendencies. So that's going to be a really interesting match. And then at 8 PM EST, casted by Snoopy and myself, we have the main event. We have on the Afrika stream, we have Loki, aka DRG Ling from back in the day, versus Theory, a very, very high level ZVP. And finally, at 7 PM Eastern, on Sunday, we have another VSL match against Dark Society Gaming with many of the same players you've just seen. Well, not a VSL match, sorry, a friendly, but it is 2 platinums and 3 diamonds, so it is similar to the VSL. So we got a lot of events coming up. So please tune in for them.